Water has always been, one of the most critical elements of survival. A person can go weeks without food, but without water, the body begins to fail quickly. During World War II, soldiers often operated in environments where heat, exhaustion, and limited water supplies created constant danger. From the deserts of North Africa to the tropical jungles of the Pacific, maintaining proper hydration was not simply a comfort, it was a matter of survival. Wartime experience taught soldiers valuable lessons about how the human body reacts to dehydration and how careful water management could keep them functioning in extreme conditions. One of the first lessons soldiers learned was never waiting until thirst becomes severe. Thirst is actually a late warning sign. By the time a person feels intense thirst, the body is already experiencing dehydration. During long marches or patrols, soldiers were trained to drink small amounts of water regularly rather than consuming large amounts all at once. This steady intake helped maintain energy levels and prevented sudden fatigue. Drinking in controlled amounts also helped conserve limited supplies, especially when resupply was uncertain. In desert campaigns, such as those in North Africa, water discipline became a strict routine. Troops learned quickly that careless drinking early in a mission could leave them dangerously short later. Managing sweat and heat exposure was another crucial factor in hydration. Harsh environments, especially deserts and tropical regions, force the body to sweat constantly. Sweat is the body's natural cooling system, but it also removes large amounts of water and salt. Soldiers learned that slowing their pace during extreme heat could conserve both energy and water. Instead of marching quickly under the midday sun, units often adjusted their schedules to move during cooler parts of the day, whenever possible. Early morning and evening movement reduced heat stress and helped preserve valuable water reserves. Protecting the body from direct sunlight also played an important role. Direct sun exposure accelerates dehydration by raising body temperature and increasing sweat loss. During desert operations, soldiers often used head coverings, scarves or cloth wraps to shield the head and neck from intense sunlight. Even a small piece of cloth placed under a helmet could provide additional shade and help regulate body temperature. Whenever possible, troops rested in the shade of vehicles, rocks, or natural terrain during the hottest parts of the day. Another important wartime habit involved protecting water supplies from contamination. In many operational areas, the only available water sources were rivers, wells, or standing pools. These sources could easily contain bacteria, parasites, or other harmful organisms. Whenever possible, soldiers boiled water before drinking it. Boiling destroyed many dangerous microorganisms and made the water safer for consumption. When boiling was not immediately possible, troops often stored water carefully until it could be treated properly. Clean water containers were also important. Keeping canteens sealed and protected prevented contamination from dirt or debris during long movements. Wartime experience also taught soldiers how to recognize the early signs of dehydration. Fatigue, headaches, dizziness, and reduced concentration were common warning signs. In extreme cases, dehydration could lead to heat exhaustion or heat stroke, both of which could become life-threatening. Experienced soldiers paid attention not only to their own condition, but also to the condition of their fellow troops. A person suffering from dehydration might become slower, confused, or unusually quiet. Recognizing these early symptoms allowed units to stop, rest, and rehydrate before the situation became more serious. Another valuable lesson involved using the environment to locate additional water sources. Even in harsh environments, water can sometimes be found with careful observation. During wartime operations, soldiers learned to watch for natural indicators that suggested the presence of water. Vegetation patterns were often useful clues. Areas with thicker or greener plant growth sometimes indicated underground moisture or nearby streams, and low-terrain areas, such as valleys or depressions, could also collect rainwater or runoff. In desert regions, dry riverbeds occasionally contained water beneath the surface. Digging in damp sand sometimes revealed small amounts of groundwater that could be collected and treated. While these methods required patience and effort, they sometimes provided vital water when supplies were limited. Proper rationing of water was another essential skill. Carrying large quantities of water was not always possible during long movements. Because of this, soldiers were trained to plan their water usage carefully. Instead of drinking freely whenever they felt thirsty, they followed controlled schedules based on the distance of their mission and the expected availability of water sources. This discipline ensured that water lasted as long as possible. However, experienced troops also understood that severe dehydration could be more dangerous than running low on water. Balancing conservation with proper hydration required careful judgment. Perhaps the most important lesson from wartime hydration practices was respecting the limits of the human body. Harsh environments place tremendous stress on physical endurance. Heat, humidity, and physical effort quickly drain the body's water reserves. Soldiers who survived these conditions learned to adjust their behavior accordingly. They moved at sustainable speeds, rested whenever possible, protected themselves from excessive sun exposure, and monitored their hydration constantly. These habits allowed them to maintain strength and mental clarity even under difficult circumstances. The lessons learned by soldiers during World War II, well, they remain valuable even today. Hikers, outdoor workers, travellers, and, survival enthusiasts can all benefit from understanding how to manage water effectively in harsh environments. Drink regularly. Protect the body from heat. Treat water sources carefully, and of course, watch for early warning signs of dehydration. These simple but disciplined habits, helped thousands of soldiers endure extreme conditions during wartime. If you appreciate practical survival knowledge, military history and the fieldcraft skills developed through real-world experience, do consider subscribing to the channel and, well, share this video with someone who respects the timeless lessons that help soldiers survive some of history's toughest environments.